Welcome to VGK Today, presented by MGM Rewards, a daily podcast bringing you an inside look at the Vegas Golden Knights 2023 Stanley Cup playoff run. I'm Justin Russo with the Golden Knights on Wednesday, June 14th. And boy, does it feel good to say it. The Vegas Golden Knights are Stanley Cup champions. The VGK had the Fortress rocking last night with an astounding 9 goals, a franchise record 9 goals in their closeout effort to defeat the Florida Panthers 9-3 and capture the team's first Stanley Cup. Of all the players for the VGK, it was none other than Captain Mark Stone who was the star that shined the brightest in Game 5. Registering a hat trick in the deciding game, he becomes the first player in 100 years to have a hat trick in the closeout game of a Stanley Cup final. Just amazing for the captain, and a well-deserved hat trick indeed for all the work that he put in Game 5 to get those goals. But it was another player that grabbed the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player in the postseason. Original Golden Knight Jonathan Marchessault. He finished the postseason with 25 points overall on 13 goals and 12 assists. And he had a 10-game point streak to end the playoffs. So a well-deserved honor there as well for Jonathan Marchessault, a player so integral to this team's history and its DNA. Today, I just want to let the moments of last night have some more time in the spotlight. This is something that doesn't come around very often, and I want everyone to be able to relive last night, relive the championship moment for the VGK, and just enjoy everything that went into this season and the culmination of it all in Game 5 last night. So, we'll start off with something that I just mentioned, that hat trick from Mark Stone, and let's hear all 3 of the goals from the captain, as described by Dan Duva and Gary Lawless.
Verhaeghe is the player who's joined this top unit in the absence of Tkachuk. Looks back door, finds his man, kicked away! An aggressive left kick saved by Hill. Challenging the left side of the crease, and the puck did not come on goal. Now it's in the neutral zone. Panthers carried back in, an errant drop pass, gathered ahead, 2-on-1, Stone with Stevenson, Stone stops, shoots, he scores! The double fist pump, the high five with White Cloud, the embrace with Stevenson, short-handed goal. The captain, Mark Stone, gives Vegas a 1-0 lead in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. The first short-handed goal for the Knights this postseason. Mark Stone's 9th in his 22nd playoff game this year. The Knights turn the tables on the Panthers. The short-handed goal gets Vegas on top after Florida started the series with a short-handed goal.
He strips Verhaeghe just outside his own blue line, takes it all the way down the left wall. Now he's a right-handed shot, so his stick and the puck are in the middle of the ice. He's got Stevenson. Montour plays the middle. Eventually, Mark has a little pause and then roofs it up over the glove hand of Bobrovsky. What a goal, what an effort from 61.
Back to his own line, Pietrangelo. Forward pass, connects with Stevenson. Charges into the zone. Drop back for Howden. Extra pass. Stone shooting. He scores! 2 goals for Stone. 5-1 Knights. A 4-goal lead in Game 5. 6-on-5 attack. Verhaeghe high on the right. Into the right circle. Bennett looking cross-ice. Stone intercepts. This time he sends it down. It'll waffle and go into the goal. It's a hat trick. In the clincher, Mark Stone, the captain, makes it 8-3 Golden Knights with 6 minutes to go in the third period. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and now a goal in the third period, sending the Knights to what will be a Stanley Cup championship. 5-goal advantage, Mark Stone's 2nd career hat trick. Both have come in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That one was a sidewinder from 180 feet away. Mark Stone has 3 today, 11 in the playoffs. In this series, he's got 5 goals. He's got one of the most important roles on the team. The emotional leader has now been the decisive goal scorer in the biggest game this franchise has ever played.
He had a big celebration with the guys on the ice, and then he glided in to the middle of the bench with his arms spread like an eagle, that huge wingspan. He's 6'4", and his teammates mobbed him in the middle of the bench. And the Hats continue to rain down.
1/3 of the goal output for Vegas coming from number 61. The lead Vegas built allowed the final period to essentially be a party at T-Mobile Arena, as everyone knew what the result would be and was eagerly awaiting the final moments. And when those final seconds came, Dan Duva eloquently put the moment into perspective.
The noble charge from Bill Foley was cut in 6. They talk about dreaming. The Golden Knights are going to make that dream a reality. A devotion to destiny. Misfits to champions. The Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup in 2023. The first Stanley Cup championship in Golden Knights history comes in their 6th season. The Silver State is home to the greatest silver trophy in all of sports. The mob is behind Adin Hill's goal. All the players swarming one another, jubilant in celebration. The fans on their feet can't stop. The streamers down from the rafters, sticks and gloves and flamingos. The Golden Knights are Stanley Cup champions. Every player managed to contribute. Each player played his part. And there the honor lies. Final score in Game 5. The Vegas Golden Knights 9. The Florida Panthers 3. They defeat Florida in 5 games to win the Stanley Cup, having knocked out the Stars in 6, the Oilers in 6, the Jets in 5. The Golden Knights win 16 out of 22 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs to win the Stanley Cup in their 6th season on this Tuesday, the 13th day of June, 2023.
There is simply nothing like watching grown men who have gone through hell and back this postseason and who have embraced the violence and the physicality of this sport instantly turn giddy and resort back to their youthful mentality as their dreams of winning a Stanley Cup finally come true. And this also applies to members of the Golden Knights that had won Stanley Cups before. You look at the emotion across the entire team, and it still rings true for guys like Alex Pietrangelo, Phil Kessel, Jonathan Quick, Alec Martinez. Those guys just as excited to get back to the Stanley Cup and capture it yet again as they were for that first time. We had a lot of post-game content on the radio side of things on Fox Sports Las Vegas with Dan and Gary. We sent Gary down to the ice to get a lot of reaction from the players and some of the coaches and management after the game. So let's take a listen into some of those conversations that he had right on the ice just after the team had lifted the Stanley Cup. And we'll start off here with a few conversations with some key players. So let's hear from Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, and Adin Hill.
Thank you. Thanks, Gary. You look great tonight.
How's this feel?
Suit. It feels unbelievable. Best feeling in the world.
Been a long battle for you when you think about what you went through and fought for yourself to get the surgery that you needed to get, and then got traded here and turned into a Stanley Cup champion in pretty short order.
Yeah, best feeling. That's all the you go through, it's all worth it. Being here now and being able to celebrate Stanley Cup with these guys. Can't thank the organization enough, and everyone from the from the top down. Bill, George, Kelly, to all our athletic trainers, equipment guys. I mean, everybody. Everyone comes to work every day and just does such an amazing job, and makes it that much more special to play here.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Mark Stone, captain of the Vegas Golden Knights, Stanley Cup champions. Congratulations.
Unbelievable feeling, isn't it? Everybody pours their heart and soul into this organization, and here we are.
You had back surgery about 5 months ago, and you got to lift that thing over your head tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling. This is why you put in the hours to get back, to be a part of the group. You want to be part of the group. You want to be having success with the group, and here we are. We're best team in the world, the best hockey team in the world. It's the best.
It's just pretty cool. You got your dad, your mom, your brother, everybody around here. You had a hat trick tonight. It's the first time in 100 years that someone had a hat trick in the clinching game of the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I'm not really thinking about that, honestly. Just thinking about coming out, skating onto the ice to celebrate with the team. It's a special feeling, so love it. Never regret. Never forget it.
What do these people mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad, they put in the crazy hours at the rink for me and my brother to play this game. And I met my wife, who packed up her stuff and moved to Vegas, not knowing anything about the city, just trusting, I guess trusted me in my decision to come here, and just a support system, right? They're your biggest fans. They always think you play good, right? Even when you don't. So it's unbelievable.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thanks, Gary.
Aiden, congratulations. You're on with Dan and myself upstairs. How's this feel?
Pretty crazy. Yeah. It's fun. Trying to enjoy the moment.
You were really sharp early and kept your team in it, and then they gave you lots of run support.
Yeah, I mean, second period, we just took over the game. It's truly incredible what this group of guys can do when we're clicking. So, there we got the third and fourth one and started rolling, and it was just kind of waiting for that clock to tick down.
You told us the other night that when they score in overtime, you never get to be in the scrum. Were you in the scrum tonight?
Yeah, I guess they all came to me. I don't know, it was pretty surreal. I didn't know what seconds left to start throwing my stuff off at.
Awesome. Enjoy your night, Aiden.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Aiden Hill, a first-time winner, not sure how to do things at the end of the game, just waiting and waiting for that clock to finally tick down so he could celebrate with his teammates. But let's now hear from some guys that do know what to do when the end of that game comes, because they have been there before. We'll take a listen into what Alec Martinez and Alex Pietrangelo had to say after the win.
I don't know. You're just itching and wait for that buzzer to go off. trying to. It's human nature to think about the end, but you just got to try to stay in it.
12-4 now in Stanley Cup final games. You got a pretty good little run going.
Yeah, I don't know. I said it. I don't know what I did in life in order to be able to play on these good hockey clubs and play with such awesome players and awesome people, but I mean, what they've done, you look at those so-called misfits, the guys that were here, and the things that they've done for this city, and vice versa, the things that this city has done for them, to see them build this and the whole organization, it's pretty awesome.
Second time as much fun as the first time?
Just as much fun. Well, we'll see how the party is. It might be a little bit different this time. Last time I went on the road, we had a long plane ride home, so I'll have to get the kids home and take another Red Bull, because it's been a long day here, waiting around, anticipating all this to come. So it doesn't change the feeling, though. It's pretty special, and for the guys who haven't won, see the smiles on their faces, and that's what it's all about. You
got to lift it as a captain, and tonight you got to watch Mark Stone lift it. What's that like for you?
Well, I mean, then you get to see the misfits lifted. But, Mark's, it's been a hell of a journey for him, right? He didn't know where he was going to be when he gets that second surgery. But here he is, right? Stanley Cup captain. So a bit of a relief for him, I'm sure.
Alec Martinez and Alex Pietrangelo, two veteran guys that were brought in to this Golden Knights team to do exactly what they've done this season, provide that guidance, provide that veteran leadership, and see if they can take the Golden Knights to that next level and get them to a Stanley Cup championship, which, again, they certainly did this season. And a ton of credit also has to go to the guys that brought them in initially. Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee have done a lot of work on this roster since that first Cup final in 2018 to retool it, rebuild it, and make sure that they put together the best possible team to get right back to this moment. And you have to say, they have put together a monstrous team, a team with a lot of depth, very few, if any, flaws, and a room that was so tight-knit that allowed them to get to this point, take on any adversity that came their way, and come out on the other side on top. So, Gary caught up with both Kelly and George post-game, so let's take a listen into what they had to say after finally bringing a Stanley Cup to the city of Las Vegas.
Kelly McCrimmon, Stanley Cup champion. How's that feel?
Well, it's surreal when it happens. It's a little overwhelming, and the way the game went, it wasn't that we were in overtime, so you knew when we got later into the third period it was going to happen, and it's just it's overwhelming. It's really hard to know. It's hard to know exactly what to expect. Tremendously proud of the players. It was a really good team that could play any way you wanted to play. We were healthy through the playoffs, which made such a difference. But just rewarding for Bill Foley, for George McPhee, for our pro scouts, our amateur scouts, those people that work tirelessly to make this happen. And then, of course, number one is your family. With my family's all here, so that part is really gratifying. Without people to share these accomplishments with, they're not very special, and that's what really makes it fun, is the people around us, the people in the organization. So that part's been fantastic.
You had a storied career. You did a great job in junior hockey. You went on a limb to come to the National Hockey League. 6 years later, you're the general manager of the Stanley Cup Vegas Golden Knights. It wasn't easy. You made some big decisions. You brought in Stone, Eichel, Pietrangelo. It's quite an accomplishment what you've done in a short amount of time.
Well, it's a group effort. We're really collaborative. Our pro scouting staff have a lot of input. George McPhee obviously works shoulder to shoulder. We work shoulder to shoulder together. But we had a I think a really clear vision of what a contending team needs to look like, what it needs to have, what a championship team needs to look like, what the roster composition has to be, and we wanted to win. So we worked hard to make that happen, and to do that, it's not easy. It's uncomfortable at times. It's damn hard at times, but you have to be driven by the template you see in your own mind as to what you want this to look like. So for all of the people that have a hand in that, I feel very grateful for their help, and then obviously very happy that they're part of this when it plays out like it has.
Congratulations, Kelly. Enjoy your family.
Thanks, Gary. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're on the radio here with me and Dan. How's it feel?
Okay. Well, as you know, pretty unbelievable. Pretty unbelievable.
I know that when you came here the first time and it didn't work out your way, you really wanted to get back, and you and Kelly tore things down to a certain extent and rebuilt, and you're here. Very gratifying for the city, for Bill Foley, yourself, Kelly, the whole organization.
Well, it was pretty cool to get to the final in our first year, but it hurt a lot to not win. We really wanted to win it that year for this city because this city needed it. And it didn't work out, but we didn't give in, we didn't give up, we dug in even more, and here we are. To get to 2 finals in 6 years and 4 conference championships. It's been a real statement by this unbelievable organization that we work for.
You've done it all now. You played in the NHL. You've built an organization in Washington, and then you came here with nothing. Started from scratch, and now your name's going to go on the Stanley Cup. Like George McPhee has climbed that mountain. Congratulations.
Well, you know what? The name on the cup is fantastic, obviously, and the Stanley Cup rings to be fantastic, but it's the experience, really, and delivering for this city. That's what matters. I'm fortunate that I'm old enough now to understand what really matters, and for me, this is what matters. Las Vegas has a Stanley Cup.
Awesome, George. Thank you very much.
Well, I think George nailed it on the head there, right? You talk about having your name on the cup, that championship ring, and how special those things are, but it truly means more to just experience everything throughout the entire season with the team, watch the team grow, watch the individuals on the team grow, and just watch everybody come together toward a common goal. This was a special Golden Knights team. They will always be remembered as the first Golden Knights team to bring a championship to this city, and of course that Misfits team will always hold a special place in everyone's hearts, but this one has the hardware to back it up, and nobody will forget where they were on June 13th, 2023, when the Golden Knights won their first Stanley Cup. If you want to listen to some more post-game reaction, head on over to the Vegas Golden Knights SoundCloud page. We have every single post-game interview posted up there. We just shared a handful of them here with you on VGK Today. There are 16 in total. Dan and Gary working hard there post-game. Really, Gary out on the ice, fishing around, getting the interviews that he could, doing a great job at finding us all kinds of reactions from all kinds of different people, from coaches, players, staff, management, you name it, from the Vegas Golden Knights. So again, head on over to the Vegas Golden Knights SoundCloud page for not only the post-game reactions, but the entire game highlights and all the interviews during the game with Dan and Gary. So as the postseason wraps up, so too does VGK Today. Of course, our goal was to give you an inside look at the 2023 Stanley Cup playoff run for the Golden Knights, and well, that run is now over. There's no more inside look to give you. We've been with you every step of the way, and the Golden Knights have claimed the sport's ultimate prize. They have won the Stanley Cup. It's been a tremendous season. It's been a tremendous playoff run, and I want to thank sincerely every host that has hopped on here to VGK Today to help make this thing go, from Darren Millard, Ashley Weiss, Dan Duva, Gary Lawless, Dave Gosher, Shane Knighty, Brian McCormick, Gordon Weigers, and Kaylee Allard from our social media team that even joined us for an episode. Nate Yule behind the scenes, who had the initial vision for this podcast and entrusted it to me for the entire playoff run, and I can't thank him enough for all of his help over the last 2 months of VGK Today. And of course, thanks to everyone that appeared on the show, all the VGK staff that shared some insight on the work that they do with the Vegas Golden Knights, everyone that contributed in terms of helping us get any content that we needed for the show. A sincere thank you from me for helping this thing run too. And we have to end off by thanking all of you out there listening, all the fans that joined us on this ride here on VGK Today as we took you through the 2023 postseason for the Vegas Golden Knights. None of this would have meant anything if it weren't for your support, your listening every single day, following the podcast, following the team, and engaging with us as we went through this 2023 postseason run. So that's 59 episodes down of VGK Today, locked into the history books, into the annals of Golden Knights history as a snapshot of the 2023 postseason and the run that ended up with the Golden Knights capturing the first Stanley Cup in team history. It's been an absolute blast over the last couple of months to be with you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of the summer, the rest of the off season, and you relish in the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights are 2023 Stanley Cup champions. So for one last time, Justin Russo signing off for VGK Today, presented by MGM Rewards.